This episode of Stuck in Vermont is made possible by Hotel Vermont and Vermont Tourism.
Feel the burn! Feel the burn! Feel the burn! Feel the burn!
Welcome to Stuck in Vermont, brought to you by 7 Days. My name is Ava Solberger. We're in Burlington at the beautiful Burlington Waterfront for Bernie Sanders' presidential campaign Kickoff. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of people here. We've got media from all over the country, music, free ice cream, and people hoping Bernie will be the president in 2016.
Go Bernie!
I am hot for Bernie. Yeah.
We support Bernie. He's the kind of guy we want to have as a president.
I think he's the best shot we've got at a president right now.
Now's the time for something radically different, a new system.
To support Bernie, come on now. The billionaire battler, my godfather.
It's going to be a good experience to sort of see what he has to say and see it in person.
I just kind of relate to what he stands for.
I think that everything Bernie Sanders wants needs to happen just for our country.
I want Bernie Sanders to be our new president.
Why do you want him to be your new president?
Because he's nice.
He's nice?
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like. We are the students.
The mighty, mighty students.
The mighty, mighty students.
But it's alright, cause the band knows what to do. Every cornbread, every cornbread, every cornbread, every cornbread, every cornbread, every cornbread, every cornbread. That's all.
We are pro-Bernie, absolutely.
He tells the truth. He tells it like it is.
He's different, and it's time for something radically different.
Yeah, I'd like him to shake some shit up. What we're doing right now is not working. Let's do something different, please.
He's a people's person. And we often say that about a lot of presidential candidates and whatnot, but I really do believe that he genuinely cares about the changes that needs to take place in this country.
But I've seen Bernie at the town halls and Cabot, and that's why he's so popular, because half the people in Vermont know him personally.
I don't even feel like it's because I'm a Vermonter. I just feel like Bernie Sanders is the man with integrity.
When he hinted that this day was coming, I thought I have to make a t-shirt. I'll do it right now.
He's really worked tirelessly for the state and now for the country.
It's the same thing he's been doing for 40 years. It's a different stage. It's a bigger stage.
It's about getting his message out. It always has been.
And the reason that I stayed in Burlington was because Bernie was the mayor. And because I knew that I could have a level of political agency that was not possible anywhere else in this country.
He was everywhere. You know, he was omnipresent. He was always there to answer questions people had. He would hear you out.
We have land trusts, we have youth programs, we have arts programs, we have community media. All of this exists because of our dedication and Bernie's ability to open the way.
I think Burlington would not be where it is or what it is without him.
I'm 100% for Bernie. I'm going to work for him every day until he wins the presidency.
I think that Bernie has a really good vision for the changes that he'd like to see.
He's a truthful person. He does what he says he's going to do. And what he says he's going to do is stand for the people, which is what he's consistently done.
He's the direction that we need to head, which is more left.
Because we believe in a lot of the values he has of helping the middle class, breaking up the banks.
He's for the middle class Americans and underclass, underpaid,
underemployed, unemployed.
Everyone deserves to have free health care, and young people of my generation should deserve to have free education.
He has stuck to his guns the whole time he's been, in his various positions. So I do have some hope that he could stay true to himself.
Well, Beanie for Bernie seems like a really catchy phrase. Beanie is my dog. Bernie is for protecting the environment and demanding action on climate change. And Beanie stands for all the animals who are, like us, stuck on this planet.
Unless we have Bernie, I just feel like, we're moving to Canada. We've already looked at it anyways.
He's one of few politicians, including, of course, Elizabeth Warren, the senator from Massachusetts, who's not bought out.
The people currently in power are only in power to serve themselves and not necessarily the citizens of this country.
I mean, Bernie, he seems very outlandish in the political system, and he seems very much like he prefers to do what he wants and not necessarily be swayed by corporations.
One of the reasons why Bernie is catching fire is that he is a great foil to Hillary Clinton. She's very scripted. She's somebody who's been in the national spotlight for quite some time, and her positions on a number of issues have really shifted, whereas with Sanders, the thing you can criticize him the most for is just saying the same damn thing over and over again.
He's very different from every other politician.
They're all pretty much money-mongering whores, so.
My college student, who is 19, has finished her first year.
I'm going to be in immense debt after I leave. I have one more year left.
Why isn't it easier for the college student who is trying to give something to her country?
I care that my kids are probably not going to do as well as we did, unless we die young and leave them some money. You know?
I personally am watching my grandmother, on a pension, and like she used to be someone who had like a nice house and could afford to get a new dishwasher when she needed to, and now it's like all that money's in medicine now.
I come from divorced parents. My mom, had really low income for a long time. She lived on food stamps. My dad's a software engineer with a lot of money. So I've seen both sides of the spectrum, where the government takes your money and where the government gives you money.
This is the future of a person who wants to go to college, who wants to do well, who wants to not live in debt, who needs to have proper education and food and housing and a car that's safe to drive. Look at her.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Islands. From the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream border. This land was made for you and me.
I roamed and rambled. I followed my footsteps from the sparkling sands of your diamond desert, and all around me a voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me.
It can happen. Davids can beat the Goliaths. We've seen it before. It can happen. Crazier stuff's happened.
The likelihood of him actually winning, it's getting stronger.
On the graph, Bernie's just going like that, and it's such a nice sight to see.
Bernie gets the word out, he's going to win this thing, and we're going to win this thing.
I'm still weighing in my options right now, but I think I will be eventually going to vote for Bernie.
The only reason I'm hesitating is because he is so honest. I think that's going to cause a lot of fear for the people, the corporations, and the big-time political people. I mean, I hope he has a chance.
I've been sharing with all of my family in Western New York and Florida, in Michigan, all over the country.
You could see a revolution. It'll bubble up from them out to their friends and from them up to their grandparents. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's likely that Bernie Sanders is going to end up in the White House, but I've always thought it would be likely if he were to run, he would have a moment in the sun where his poll numbers would skyrocket. People would get really interested in his campaign. Certainly, he's going to have his moment, and that moment might be beginning right now.
From the mountains, through the prairies, through the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home.
Know that Bernie is loved in every corner of this great state, from Newport in the north to Bennington and Brattleboro in the south.
What an honor for Ben and me to be here supporting Bernie Sanders, a man who for over 30 years has been fighting for fairness and against injustice.
Some say that voting for Bernie is throwing your vote away. I say that voting for anyone else is flushing our country down the drain. Vermont's adopted son, the next president of the United States, Senator Bernie Sanders!
our small state, a state that has led this nation in so many ways, I am proud to announce my candidacy for President of the United States of America. Today, with your support and the support of millions of people throughout our country, we begin a political revolution to transform our country economically, politically, socially, and environmentally. Enough is enough. This great nation and its government belong to all of the people and not to a handful of billionaires. Brothers and sisters, now is not the time for thinking small. Now is not the time for the same old establishment politics and stale inside the Beltway ideas. Now is the time for millions of working families to come together to revitalize American democracy, to end the collapse of our middle class, and to make certain that our children and grandchildren are able to enjoy a quality of life that brings them health, prosperity, security, and joy, and that once again makes the United States the leader in the world in the fight for economic and social justice, for environmental sanity, and for a world of peace. This campaign is not about Bernie Sanders. It's not about Hillary Clinton. It is not about Jeb Bush or anyone else. This campaign is about the needs of the American people. There is something profoundly wrong when one family owns more wealth in this country than the bottom 130 million Americans. The Koch brothers in this election cycle are prepared to spend more money than either the Democratic or Republican parties. That is not democracy, that is oligarchy. To the billionaire class, I say that your greed has got to end. You cannot take advantage of all of the benefits of America if you refuse to accept your responsibilities. I have seen, as many of you have, the promise of America in our own lives. My parents never would have dreamed that their son could become a United States Senator, let alone run for president. And to those who say we cannot restore the dream, I say just look where we are standing today. As some of you will remember, this beautiful place was once an unsightly rail yard that served no public purpose and was an eyesore. As mayor, I worked with the people of Burlington to help turn this waterfront into the beautiful, people-oriented public space it is today. When people stand together, when people are prepared to fight back, there is nothing that cannot be accomplished. Thank you.
I have the flag right here. I was excited. I was with him with every single remarks that he made, and I think the crowd was exceptional.
I was moved by him. I cried twice today.
I'm definitely moving more towards Bernie.
Nice to see Bernie have his kickoff here at the waterfront that he saved from development back in the 80s, and we will get stuck in Vermont with you again real soon.
You know, I was in the Army during Woodstock. I would have loved to have gone to Woodstock instead of what I was doing. So, you know, maybe 10 years, 20 years from now, I can say I was here when President Bernie Sanders started his thing, and it was a lot of fun.
I hope he buys a unicorn because it would be cool to see him on a TV show riding a unicorn.
Oh, that would be the dream of my life, to see Bernie on a unicorn. Only Bernie could do it.